What's poppin', gamers? I'm Pochubeo, and today's trip into the Pocha Zone is to talk about some video games. Shocking, I know. It's NextFest 2025, which means there are so many demos out there that are trying to get eyes on them. From big-name games finally getting playable demos like Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, to games made by one-person dev teams with a dream like Solstorm, the fact is, there's something out there just waiting to find its way into your wishlist. Now, I may just be an ordinary garden variety bear man, but I still wanted to say a little bit about every game demo I checked out, because hey, who knows if me getting on here and blathering a little bit is going to introduce you to your new favorite. So, some of this footage is going to have my mouth flapping PNG tuber on the corner of the screen, and that's because the first 9 of these were played on my stream over at twitch.tv/Pochubeo, which, you know, you should give me a follow there if you want to catch me stream. It'd be really cool of you. Anyway, this video's order is based solely on the order I checked out the demos. So if I don't talk about one of your favorites until the end, it just means that I played other games first. Don't jump into the comments and call me a hater. Or do. Engagement is engagement. I love to be engaged. Now let's get into it. First up is Ratatan. I cannot wait for this game. I am a massive Patapon fan, and honestly the PSP was amazing for unique game experiences like Patapon and Loco Roco and so many others. So I've had my eyes on this for quite some time. The demo did not disappoint. I do have to admit, I'm kind of tired of how prevalent roguelikes have become, but the fact of the matter is, all of the classic Patapon love that I was hoping for is on display here. The music is catchy, the rhythm strategy gameplay is strong, and the character design is fantastic as always. This is clearly a labor of love from the people that understand what made Patapon pop so much. Release date, now! Kill! Next up, Kumakichi&Nyanzou Birth Destruction God DX. I'm gonna be real with you, I checked this one out because I love bears. And when I was scrolling through the NextFest page, I saw a bear. And so I had to download it. It's a cute little game. The idea is that you walk around the map smacking stuff so it explodes. The more you smack, the more you level up. The more you level up, the more items become smackable. Your goal is to start off slapping socks and other small doodads until you get to the point that you are one-handing entire buildings out of existence in a domino of destruction. I know that by the time I finished the first stage, I kind of had my fill, but the fact is I could still see this being a fun little mess-around game while you watch something on the second screen. Next, we have Metal Eden, the next project by the devs behind Ruiner, a game I enjoyed very much. Metal Eden is a first-person shooter with a sleek presentation and a fun gameplay loop. The game is also gorgeous, though apparently that's caused some people to have some issues with running the game even on PCs far better than mine. My only complaint so far from the demo is that the main narrator character in the first stages talks like he studied our atheism for a personality. There was this line that particularly stood out to me where the character said,
"As hard as I try to flex the muscles of my optimism, at this moment they feel a little bit atrophied."
Get that attitude out of my house now! Look at that shit. The Horde Wants You Dead. The Horde Wants You Dead is simple in presentation and gameplay loop, which is perfect for what it wants to be. I immediately took to this game and found myself getting hit by the just one more round bug in the same way that Vampire Survivors and other games of its ilk managed to rock me. I didn't try out multiplayer, but I can tell you right now that if the game is priced right on release, I will absolutely be in my friend's Discord server, harassing them for a few rounds while we chat it up. It is perfect for that kind of experience. No, I'm not a human. I can tell you right now that this horror game is going to be huge, if it's not already. The art style is disgusting, and I mean that as a positive. It immediately sells its fantastic atmosphere, and even playing the game in a brightly lit apartment on a warm summer day, I found myself getting a little uncomfortable at times. The idea is that you're surviving a deadly summer by hiding within your home, and visitors, which to draw a common comparison are basically alternates from the Mandela catalog, have begun climbing out of the ground and killing people. At night, people knock on your door looking for refuge, and you have to choose who to let in and who to send away. During the day, you talk to those people you chose to let in and run tests to try and determine if they're humans or visitors. Once you let a visitor in, people start dying, and holy hell is it stressful. It's already great, and it has the potential to be something really special. Oh, there's someone at the door again. Ugh! Petaka. This is a classic Doom-style first-person shooter quite literally made in GZ Doom. This game is fast, it is stylish, and it is hard. At least it was for me. I got my ass slapped on stream and eventually had to move on because I was brick-walled in that moment and making a fool of myself on camera. But the game is still really fun. If you like Doom, Wolfenstein, anything of that classic nature, check this one out. You will not regret it. Also, as a little aside, the soundtrack goes crazy, and it does this really cool thing where every level opens up by telling you not just the name of the song, but the name of the artist who composed it. As an audio person myself, that made me really happy. Solstorm. Listen, I suck absolute cheeks at bullet hell shoot-em-ups. But I also think they're fun as hell. So when Solstorm showed up on my feed, I had to give it a shot. Shocking no one, it's a bullet hell, and so it gave me hell. But the aesthetic is really pleasing. The enemies are made up of these really cute designs of like bats and skulls and stuff like that. And your controllable character being this little like ghost-like aesthetic thing. I don't know, I liked it. I really like this game's aesthetic, and that carries it a lot when I am otherwise dealing with the frustration of getting absolutely spanked. It's got some interesting mechanics too. This one, I'm not gonna lie, this one may not be for me, but I can see shmup lovers having a lot of fun with it. Dead as Disco. This game goes crazy. It's a rhythm game that challenges you to do reactive counter-based combat Arkham style, while a great soundtrack helps you time your movements. Dead as Disco's demo might have been compact, but it was also immediately engaging. I am desperate for the full release of this game. There wasn't much to the demo, so I don't have a whole lot to say, but check it out if you like rhythm games or beat 'em ups. It's stylish, it's fun, and honestly, if they have some kind of beat hazard style mode where I can play this game to my own music, it is going to probably steal the next year of my life after it comes out. Mina the Hollower. The next game by Yacht Club. Mina the Hollower reminded both my stream chat and me of Link's Awakening. Now, as I said, it's Yacht Club, so you know there's going to be some quality here. There's also going to be some pretty intense difficulty too. You've got 3 different weapon types to try out, and the stages are incredibly well bit. The platforming can be a little rough due to the quasi top-down viewpoint, as I think I died like 2 or 3 times in the exact same platforming challenge. But tight controls mean that pretty much every death came down to me just kind of sucking at what I was doing. I can tell this one, in its completed form, is going to be just as much of a banger as Shovel Knight and Cyber Shadow. Kitty Loves Birds. Before I get into this one, I want to acknowledge that the footage you're seeing on screen is the trailer from the Steam page. My recording software did not like this game for some reason, so I was not able to record my own demo footage, and I do not want to take from anybody else, so I've just got the Steam trailer on loop. I apologize for that. I'm gonna be honest, when I saw this demo pop up on my feed, I kind of thought it just looked like a mobile game I would have downloaded on my iPod Touch back in 2012. That being said, I do love me some kitties, so I said why not? What I ended up playing was a handful of levels of a surprisingly competent platformer. You play as a kitty, obviously, that uses birds as jump renewals to navigate your way through stages. You're dodging other animals as enemies while also trying to double jump and wall bounce and everything else your way around this stage, looking to collect a big coin for unlockables and otherwise balloons to finish the stage. Those unlockables include other kitty designs, which made me pretty happy. I was honestly surprised by how much I enjoyed this one. Jetrunner. The gameplay of this game is a blast, especially if you love time trials. It centers around parkour platforming with a little bit of first-person shooter gunplay to hit targets and unlock the finish lines at each stage. Restarting when you make a mistake is instantaneous, especially if you just hit like the R key. You immediately restart the stage, no hesitation, no loading times. It's wonderful. It really helps to encourage chasing lower times. It creates a really fun gameplay loop that I found myself constantly trying to go for those platinum medals. It's fun. So I strongly recommend trying it out yourself because the gameplay alone is fantastic.
Danger. Danger. Danger.
Unbeatable. This might be the most stylish game out of all 19 games I played for this video. It has this unique art style of what appears to be paper cutouts for the characters and a 3D world for pretty much everything else. It also has great scene framing, wonderful character designs, and absolutely incredible music. The problem is that the actual rhythm game constantly has this mechanic where the rhythm game switches what side of the screen notes are coming from, which, I'm gonna be honest, really just disoriented me. You combine this with the fact that every note input makes the screen shake to show impact, and I am in hell trying to keep track of anything when I play on a difficulty above normal. And this game has a good 5-6 possible difficulties, so it's encouraging you to go above its easiest ones. The story mode also dragged its feet in the demo, with minigames like drink mixing kind of stretching out the time between actual rhythm game moments. That being said, some of those minigames were fun, like fighting police officers. I found a lot of this to kind of make the whole experience drag. I'm totally cool with story modes and rhythm games, but this one kind of felt like it existed as a separate game from the rhythm stuff instead of as part of it. Still, demos exist for a reason, and I do think that with a few tweaks, this rhythm game is gonna sing. Okko The Exiled. Now this is some classic ass side scroller. Great pixel graphics, fun character designs. Pan, please, I am begging you for a chance, just one! A solid mix of exploration and combat that takes no time to grasp, and just enough challenge that I couldn't just mindlessly progress while still not being annoyed by ultra difficult bullshit. If I had to complain about something, I think that this game's stages are a bit too big for their own good, but this one's got a lot of potential, so I'll be keeping an eye on it. And you should give it a shot too. House of Necrosis. What do you get when you take the mystery dungeon gameplay style and infect it with the T-virus from Resident Evil? House of Necrosis, a game that replaces Shiren the Wanderer with a member of the Special Forces who finds herself in a big spooky mansion fighting against all kinds of spooky monsters in a turn-based setup. If you've never played a mystery dungeon game before, the idea is that all of the enemies on the floor only act when you do. You take a step, they take a step. You attack, they get to attack. That means that you're able to take stock of your situation and consider your moves before you act and, your equipment and all that other good stuff. But it also means that a single bad step can doom an entire run. The demo alone was already grabbing me, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what else they do for the full release. Lurks Within Walls. This game is hell to look at. And I mean that as a compliment. One part dungeon crawler and one part turn-based RPG, all wrapped up in a first-person perspective horror game with monsters designed by the incredibly popular and talented artist Trevor Henderson. Lurks Within Walls puts a new spin on getting jump-scared by the sight of an enemy on the field. There's a lot of strategy in these battles due to variables like hit rates, status effects based on where you choose to strike, and limited ammo for your best weapons. This can be a bit of a double-edged sword though. The strategy means I'm engaging with every fight with more focus, but it also means that even your most basic enemies can be rather difficult to deal with. And with how sparse supplies are, at least in the demo, I found myself struggling to survive by the end of my run. Still, this game rocks. Give it a shot if it sounds up your alley. Tormented Souls II. Do you long for the days when your scary gaming experience came with tank controls, Dutch angles from a camera you can't control, and limited saves? This is the game for you. It does have a few issues, such as some rather wonky model moments in cutscenes and a couple of design choices I'm not a fan of, like how combining items isn't just a matter of clicking combine, but instead requires you to select the first item, then you examine it, then you click the second item, which will now have the combine button, which changes your cursor so you can now mouse over the appropriate part of the first item that would allow you to combine the two items into one. Also, why does she have jiggle physics? But the controls are tight and the game is gorgeous to look at. Tormented Souls 2 brought me back to playing the original Resident Evil remake on my GameCube back in the early 2000s. From the gameplay, to the atmosphere, and all the way into having a character make me backtrack and explore the available map over and over again while I consistently missed an item that I needed to progress over and over until I got frustrated enough to save the game and turn it off for a while. Does that sound like fun to you? Because honestly, it was a ton of fun to me. I loved getting this nostalgic trip back to one of my favorite games, and I highly recommend that you give this one a crack too.
Okay, I'll bite. I'll get you your book.
Excellent. Now, be careful, or this place will kill you.
Tax Force. I absolutely adore the 2000 AD Judge Dredd franchise, but how can I not? Look at him! That sick helmet. That jawline, that raw power on display! Judge Dredd kicks absolute ass. So when I came across Tax Force on the Next Fest page and saw a protagonist clearly meant to invoke his vibes, I knew I had to check it out. This game's got some pretty cool concepts. It's a side-scrolling beat-em-up centered around the idea of taking down billionaires and making them pay their fair share, but you also get to control how they do that. This influences everything from character stories to overall game progression. It's a game that beats you over the head with the message, but hey, I like the message. That being said, this one is very clearly still a work in progress. I had quite a few glitches where I would climb a ledge, fall through it, and have to restart, except for the one time I was able to jump around enough in the wall to fall through the world and get back to where I needed to be. So, that was nice, didn't lose any progress there. Character portraits that don't always load in, at least I assume the character's portrait's supposed to be here. And also the game just crashed on me at one point. Still, that's what demos are for, right? Finding this stuff so they can be all patched up and fixed up for the full release. This is a beat 'em up worth putting on your radar. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. Holy hell, this was an amazing time. When I initially saw that the Game Kitchen, creators of the Blasphemous franchise, were behind this, I have to admit, I was a little worried that Blasphemous's more slower, methodical gameplay style was gonna bleed into Ninja Gaiden. Rest assured, that is not the case at all. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound has everything you want from a new side-scroller in this franchise. Gorgeous art, an absolute gem of an OST, tight gameplay that turns battles into this fun back and forth where you're trying to both move forward constantly to keep your kill chain going, but also taking the time to strategize and consider what the best move is for what enemy is coming right at you. Also, a ball-busting difficulty that had me wanting to loudly spew evil out of my mouth at 1 a.m. The Game Kitchen is doing fantastic work on this, and I'm super excited for the full release. Now, if I can just stop getting my ass kicked over and over again by every little thing, you stupid motherfucker! Ball X Pit. Since the release of Breakout back in the 70s, the children have longed for the satisfaction of breaking bricks. Ball X Pit, or is it just Ball Pit, is the newest entry into the world of Breakout-type games, and this one is here to put an incredibly fun spin on it. Every run in Ball Pit puts you up against a never-ending horde of brick-shaped enemies, and you've got to slam your balls into them as fast, hard, and often as you can to wipe them out before they get close enough to kill you. What? What? Anyway, it's a roguelike, so you're starting every run fresh, outside of permanent stat upgrades you can slowly gain, leveling up, and upgrading your balls with various elements and effects to take down increasing hordes of enemies. In between runs, there's a city builder mode where your goal is to get resources to help create upgrades and other perks to make the breakout runs more successful. It is a fantastic gameplay loop, with different upgrades, playable characters, and levels to spice things up. I might have pulled an all-nighter on this one if it were the full version, so hopefully it grabs you too. So, there we are. 19 different demos you can download right this minute. As of June 14th, 2025 anyway. And play. Did any of them catch your attention? Do you disagree with my thoughts on any of them? Did I miss out on something you really want me to check out? Let me know in the comments below. If I get enough suggestions, maybe I'll do a part 2. Though, I suppose that would lose the next fest theming since it ends Monday. But hey, who needs it? Thank you for watching. I'm Pocha, and this is the Pocha Zone.